So you kind of currently manage a large global organization, engineering organization, and it has its own set of challenges as you deal with people, and these are knowledge workers in the technology space working on the most advanced thing, right? That could be coming 3 years, 4 years, 5 years from now. So everyone is super smart, right? Everyone is knowledgeable. Everyone is aware of a lot of things that is happening with AI and all the technologies come up. So there's a whole lot of things that people are exposed to. How easy, difficult, challenging it is for you to manage the current set of people, right? And if you can just talk a little bit around the details of what are the challenges that you have.
Simplest thing to do is to have smarter people than you working for you, right? As a team, if you seem to be, or you are the smartest person in the room, my opinion is you have a problem, right? So surround yourself with people who are far better than you in their own niche areas that they are doing. So when you build a team of people that are super smart, that impossible takes longer becomes shorter, right? It becomes much easier to handle, much easier to deal with. And it's important for you to recognize as a leader that you are not the person that's actually going to solve the world's problems. Right? You need to find the people who can solve the really tough problems and give them the right problems to go work on, right? And work with it. Navigate. Again, goes back to the mentor example, right? In a dark room, even a candlelight can be pretty bright. Right? So what is the thing that you can do to help that whole organization move? And that comes to the second part of what a leader should do, right? You're right, I do have a large organization across the world, different problems, everybody's got different issues. Not going to go stress about a particular problem in a particular place, because there are people who know how to deal with that. Now, if the problem escalates and becomes a larger problem, step in, figure out what needs to happen, move on, right? Figure it out and move on. But largely speaking, when you have such a large group of people that are really focused on the people, right? The 3 Ps, people, process, and then programs, right? Focus on the people, and you build great people, have great people around you. Awesome. There is no problem that it's going to stump you or derail you or something of that sort. No.
But you're a seasoned leader. Let's say a budding leader or a leader who just entered into the leadership space. How should he be looking at this world in terms of saying, I need to have smarter people than me, right? It kind of puts you into a little uncomfortable space because there's a fear of someone being overpowered, right? I'm just transitioning, or I've just transitioned into this leadership role. Everything is new. I thought I was a powerful guy in terms of technology awareness and all of this stuff. And when the transition happened, I see a very different world, right? So I'm like, to a large extent, powerless, right? In terms of my core deliverables that is there. I'm relying on people to do things. And in that sense, if I'm having someone who's really smarter than me, right? It kind of, in the initial phases at least, till the transition, it gives a very uncomfortable feeling, right? So how would one navigate this period in terms of, getting one transitioning into the leadership and seeing this exposed to them, and for people who are in the system but still holding on to that, saying, hey, if I get this guy who's smarter than me, then I'm in trouble, right? How would they how should they be looking at this problem, and how they should be navigating this?
So you remember you talked earlier about the importance of EQ, right?
Yep.
And that comes back to this particular point, because if you know the value that you're bringing to the organization and you're not clear about it, you have a problem, right? You need to be very clear that now I've got 5 people, 10 people around me. Each of them are really good and super smart in their areas, absolute reference points and stuff like that. But you also need to bring something to the party, right? You can't be the one who's mooching off of everybody else. Then you'll have this problem that you're talking about, like this fearfulness, uncertainty, anxiety, all of those emotions is going to come in. But if you don't, and okay, this is what I'm bringing to the table, this is the value that I bring into the table, then you don't have that problem. You shouldn't have that problem. Now, this is where a good mentor will help. Because a mentor is the one who's going to help you understand that, hey, you're going through this anxiety for no reason. Because if you're going to operate at N-1 and then compete with somebody else, not the right investment of time. So getting all of these things in context and getting all these approaches is what a good mentor will help you with, right? And that's where the emotional quotient of this has to be absolutely reinforced.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to have difficult time.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that you're bringing time and again the mentor thing, right? It sort of emphasizes the importance of, or I would just go by a sweeping statement of saying any successful people, there needs to be a mentor, right? And someone who's guiding them and taking through them. So, so that's great, right? On similar lines, if you, with the current organization that you have and with your experience and with the technology advancement that we see with AI coming in and all of that stuff, what is that one should be focusing? Let's say for this conversation, let's look at mid-career, right? What is the focus that one needs to have at that level from a growth perspective?
So that's a very large question, right? So if I look at it from, even if it's not an industry specific, I want to take this out of the tech stack, if you will, right? I mean, we'll come back to the tech stack, but if you look at take it outside the tech stack, you need to understand what are the vectors that your business is looking at, right? What are the key value propositions that your organization is working on? What's the differentiation? How are you adding value to that core purpose that the business is working on? Once you've got that aligned, done, then all of those activities that you're working on and the tech stack, could be people, could be process, could be whatever, right? Needs to align with that. It's pointless if you're going in a tangent somewhere else and you might be doing the coolest thing, but it doesn't align with what the organization needs at that particular context or that particular time, you're going to crash and burn.
So what you're saying is it's important to understand the purpose, right? And recognize what value you can bring in alignment with the purpose.
Absolutely.
Right? And then focus on the execution elements, right, which can aid to add more value, right, and move in that path.
And focus on the execution pieces is a variable according to, in my opinion, is a variable according to your career position, if you will, right? So in the early years of your career as a leader, you're looking to build processes to bring repeatability, consistency, all of those things, right? As you go more senior into your career, you're now looking at, okay, how am I seeing around the corners? What are the risks that are there that can put me out of business, right? Then once you go even more senior, then you're going, okay, hey, what's the next growth? Where's the next hilltop, right? If you're not thinking about it, nobody else is. Right? Then the whole organization is just figuring out how to play in the mud. No, you got to go figure out what the next hilltop is going to look like. So depending on your career position, if you will, or where in the organization stack you are, it makes a difference. Right? So how much of time? So absolutely important to recognize that you align. Absolutely important to recognize that you have the right people. Right? And then your value needs to be very clear. Right? This is what I bring to the party. Right? And there are 3 other people, 5 other people, 10 other people, each bringing a skill set that is so unique and far, far better than you could ever possibly do. What an awesome team.